Alright guys, hey, what's going on? Alex here from the Bears Den. Just finished up watching the Bears Vikings game. Obviously Minnesota wins 30-12. Not what I wanted to see tonight from the Bears. I just wanted to come on here like I typically do after the game and discuss my thoughts. Really just not thrilled with the game, right? One of the things that really popped out to me was, is Caleb Williams supposed to throw the ball and then catch the ball himself? A lot of drops tonight. A lot of drops from Keenan Allen. He had 4 or 5. Rome had a couple. DJ, I don't know if he had any. Just really not great all around. Karana Magaji, absolutely terrible performance. His first start, so I think it's too early to officially call him a bust, but it's not looking great, right? He had some snaps early in the year, notably against Washington, and really struggled in that game. And, that's big, right? You would expect a third-round pick to struggle somewhat, but be able to come in and handle their own, right? And he just, many penalties, getting just blown up, having guys running right past him, just instant pressure on Caleb. I mean, Caleb's not even finishing his drops, and he's having to step up in the pocket because Karan is getting beat so easily. And just terrible broadcasting from Troy Aikman specifically, just hearing him rip on Caleb Williams and the Bears all night. Caleb has to get rid of the ball quicker. It's like, and then the replay they're showing where he's talking about that Coleman Shelton's on his ass a second and a half into play. It's like just insane. But I really wanted to jump on here. I'm seeing a lot of debate right now on Twitter about Ryan Poles, right? Some people get, coming after me, going after me for wanting to fire Ryan Poles, and I'm done with Ryan Poles. I'm done. I thought that, after the first year, I thought he was doing pretty well building the team. I think that, this year's draft, putting Karan aside, pretty solid, right? There's an argument for the Torrey Taylor pick. Against it, I get it, but he's been a solid pick. But Ryan Poles' entire plan was a 3-year plan. Year one, they're going to set the foundation. They're going to try to be competitive, but it's a lot of stripping down the contracts and the dead money, kind of getting through the season, evaluating guys. Year two, they're going to start building up the team. They're going to be more competitive. And after last season, it was looking like the rebuild plan was actually working, from 3 wins to 7 wins, and this year we're supposed to be competitive. But this year we're actually going to finish closer to year one than year two. And that's a problem, right? Because this was supposed to be the contention season. This is when we were supposed to hit the ground running and go, right? And you're bringing in this all-time, prospect quarterback. You're bringing in the top, 3 receiver in the draft. And you're bringing in a Hall of Fame receiver, you're bringing in a new running back, you're bringing in some pieces, and the team is significantly worse than they were last year. And that's a problem, right? I have significant issues now, where we are in December, evaluating the team, right? Seeing how the team was built, putting all this focus in the skill positions, right? We're going to go get the nice, flashy running back. We're going to get the flashy receivers, right? We're going to bring in another tight end. But then our offensive line can't block, so our rookie quarterback, who's elite and one of the more talented quarterbacks in the league, can't actually do his job because he's under pressure and can't even finish his drops. Then we're not going to attack the defensive line at all, right? We're going to bring in Montez Sweat, who has been, I don't want to say useless this year, but a significant drop-off compared to his level last year. And we're not going to, fill any other gaps, and then we're just going to roll with it. And it's, there's a lot of people trying to defend Poles. I get it, right? But there's a lot of misses. He's had a lot of misses. He's had misses in the draft. Velus Jones. I'm going to count Karana Magaji as a miss for now. Probably too early, but in my eyes, from what we've seen so far, it's going to be a miss. That could change with time, right? Karan. Tyler Scott hasn't been used. So is that a miss? Probably, because he's not on the field, right? So do they think he's not good enough? He's just in a backup role? That's a miss. Darnell Wright was a hit. Caleb was a hit. Rome was going to be a hit. Torrey Taylor's a hit. He's had some misses, but he's had some good draft picks. He hit on Kyler Gordon and Jaquan Brisker, guys like that. But, Velus Jones is a big miss, right? Then he has missed in the trades. The biggest issues I've had that I've discussed on this channel, now that we see it, trading Roquan Smith for Tremaine Edmunds. Tremaine Edmunds has not played great this year. He was solid last year, big fall off. TJ Edwards has not played as well this year as he has last year. Still been a solid player, but there's a drop off. Why? Not re-signing Montgomery. I get it, they tried, but Montgomery didn't like the deal. There wasn't enough guaranteed money. He wanted to go to Detroit because he thought that Detroit would be able to contend versus the Bears. That says something. Not re-signing Monty because we didn't want to pay $17 million for 3 years because that's the deal he took in Detroit. But then we're going to pay $30 million for 4 years for DeAndre Swift. It's, a little interesting. We're going to trade, or we're going to cut James Daniels, and we're going to sign Nate Davis for his replacement. We're going to get rid of Lucas Patrick, who was not great, but was serviceable and was better in the second half of the year last year. And we're going to bring in Coleman Shelton, who for about 85% of the season this year has been absolutely terrible. We're going to run it with Braxton Jones, which was fine, but he's had injury problems. We're going to run it with Tevin Jenkins, who is fine, but he's had injury problems. It's just the foundational pieces was something that was extremely overlooked by Ryan Poles, and that's something that you would like to think that he would have focused on being an offensive lineman. But he went for all these flashy picks, and he went for the Lamborghini before building the garage, and now the Lamborghini's sitting out in the conditions. It's getting battered up, it's rusting, and so I've seen enough, right? It's like, do I, sitting here right now, late December, season's over, Bears are gonna maybe win one more game, probably not. They're gonna probably finish 4-13. Do I trust Ryan Poles to land the head coaching hire and then run another draft and a free agency? I don't know if I do. I don't think I do. I don't trust him to get the head coaching hire right, because we've seen over the last week and a half all the things kind of come out and leak about how it was his decision to hire Matt Eberflus, how Matt Eberflus was about to be fired by the Colts before Poles gave him the head coaching job here. So that was a big miss. So I don't trust him landing this head coaching job. And I don't trust him in the draft, because we see the needs. The needs are in the trenches, both sides. But I don't think that's what we're going to attack. And the Bears, we hear it all every offseason. Oh, the Bears have all this money. They've got all this money. But he doesn't spend the money well. He gave the big contract extension to Montez Sweat, which at the time looked great, but this year he's at 4.5 sacks. So we're paying the guy $100 million for 4.5 sacks. If we traded Khalil Mack last year, who has like 9 sacks, maybe 10 sacks this season, and had 17 sacks last year, because we didn't want to pay Khalil Mack the money. So we're going to pay similar money, a little bit less, for half the production. Poor decision making. It's just, the misses are starting to pile up. The coaching misses are starting to pile up. He missed on hiring Shane Waldron. Now, whether that was more of a Matt Eberflus-led decision or that was Ryan Poles, we don't know for certain. But that was a miss regardless. I'm sure he had some say in that. That was a miss. There's too many misses. And we're at a point now where we're already about to be going into Caleb year 2. So we can't mess around. We can't waste any more time. We got to get going now. So I don't trust him to lead this operation. And it sucks because I thought that he was the GM. And maybe he can turn things around. I would, as much as I don't think he's the guy, I don't see him getting fired. But man, I don't know. It's not great. It's not great. Let me know what you guys think down below. Hit that subscribe button if you're new here. And I'll see you in tomorrow's video where I talk more about the game. Peace.